What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So Universal Mastery is my channel. What I do on here is I break down the occult sciences to a very practical level so that you can use them and apply them in your day-to-day life and get real, actual results. My name's Jeremiah. What I do is, once again, I teach the occult sciences. I'm a full initiate in Kabbalah. I'm very well studied on the tarot. In regards to Kabbalah, connecting all the pathways and just in general. And I'm pretty well studied on astrology, and for my own personal path, I want to become a professional astrologer this year in 2021. But other than that, when it comes to spirit work, when it comes to evocation, all of those things, I'm 100% a professional at all of those. So I just want to give a little bit of clarity on who I am. And today what we're going to be talking about in this video is a question that I get asked all the time. That's exactly why I'm covering this subject on this video. And the question is, when I start doing spirit work, will it affect those around me? Okay, so a lot of people, I'm sure the idea that they have when they ask the question is, if I start working with dark spirits, is it going to harm my loved ones? Is it going to harm my family? Is it going to harm my relationship? Is it going to harm things around me? So if you want to know how spirit work will affect the people around you, then stay tuned for the rest of the video. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into it. So obviously, I've had personal experience with this question. Okay, I had this same question myself when I was a beginner. When I started about, what was it? I want to say like a solid 3 years ago when I did my first invocation. Was it 2020? Yeah, solid 3 years ago when I did my first invocation. I had the same question, okay? Since then, I've done a lot of work. Since then, I've summoned all kinds of spirits that are known to be the most dangerous, the darkest, and spirits that are, known to be very well, very great to work with. I've worked with both ends of the spectrum. I have a very strong understanding of what a spirit is and what certain spirits are, like different kinds of spirits and how they affect you and what their purpose is and just how your own spirit operates too. So I'm definitely the right person to be covering this subject. That's a fact. So let me go into it. So the first thing that we want to know is that when we begin to do spirit work, remember what I always try to bring awareness to is the fact that we're doing spirit work to evolve. Okay, we're not doing it for the nice car. We're not doing it to control people. We're not doing it to have someone fall in love with us. Okay, we're not doing it for, to get that business promotion just yet, unless that correlates with your evolution. These things that I just mentioned are amazing. They're great, and they will come within time. But that's not the reason why we're getting into this. Okay, this is important to understand. And if you did get into the occult for any of these reasons, that's okay, because some people are going to. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started, that's a big portion of that drew me in. Okay, and I think that happens for a lot of people. But the reality is you want to really know what it's about. And as I keep saying, it's about evolution. Okay, it's about spiritual evolving. Okay, understanding your own spirit, moving forward with your own evolutionary path. And as you develop yourself and as you become more knowledgeable, more understood, more understandable, you will increase your power, and as you increase your power, you will be able to manifest all of these amazing things that I just mentioned, okay? So that's the first thing I want to say. So we want to understand that we're getting into spirit work from an evolutionary standpoint at first, okay? Because the fact of the matter is most of these spirits are geared towards evolution. And the reason why I'm trying to shift your mindset into thinking about evolution first is because your intention, which is in your mind, is extremely powerful when it comes to connecting with certain types of spirits. So if you are thinking only about the nice cars, the nice things, and all the lavish things, and that's your only focus, it's a lot more likely that you're going to end up connecting with a spirit that could potentially fool you, that could potentially lead you down a path that you're actually not ready to learn how to get out of if you were to go down. Okay, it could lead you to a path that kind of has, like, you could think of it like a dead end, and when you hit that dead end, you're gonna hit a burnout, and then you're gonna be like, fuck, what do I do now? This can happen, okay? There are spirits out there that will take advantage of you, that will try to take your energy, and it's not that they're evil spirits, right? It's not that they're bad, it's just a part of nature, right? If they can lure you in like that, I mean, I want you to ask yourself this question. Are they luring you in, or did you lure yourself in? That's the real question. Did an external spirit trick you, or did you trick you to connect with a spirit like that to go down that path? And once again, if that has happened to you, it's happened to me, you can get out of it, okay? You're gonna hit a dead end. It's gonna be like a small burnout. You may have an ego death, and then you realize, oh, that's not the right path. That's not the right way. Let me recourse and get back on track. And that's actually a part of the learning experience. But I'm here as someone who's gone through that so many times, as someone who's, once again, fully initiated in Kabbalah and has walked through all the different tunnels on the Tree of Life and the tunnels of Set. I understand what to expect. I understand what's going on. I understand the totality of this Kabbalistic system of initiation that pretty much every human being is going through. I mean, literally every human being is in, because the Tree of Life is within the DNA. We are evolutionary beings, okay? And the Kabbalah is just a breakdown of what that evolution looks like. And I understand it. That's what I'm trying to make clear. So you start working with spirits from the intention of evolution, and then naturally, based off your intent, you're going to connect with more evolutionary types of spirits that are more in alignment with what's in your best interest. That's the first starting point. Boom, good, okay. Let's say you've done that. Let's say you're on that path. You're ready for evolution. Now, the next thing that's gonna happen is, once again, I just mentioned it, you're gonna connect with spirits that are meant to bring evolution. They are in the astral plane for evolutionary purposes, and you will connect with those spirits, whether that's the darkest of dark spirits. Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Karanzan, Shugal. I mean, any of the Qliphothic spirits, they're all very dark. They have the darker, the negative polarity of what the Sephiroth is like, of the archangels and things in that nature. Yet they are extremely evolutionary. They are extremely primordial and will bring huge fluxes of this just evolutionary transformation over your consciousness and within your spirit. And that can literally excel your growth on a level that is beyond what most people can even comprehend. And when I say that, I mean, like, there's people living life right now that are going to reincarnate. They're going to get so far, and then they're going to pass away, reincarnate. They're going to get so far, pass away, reincarnate, come back, and they're going to continue their evolution. There's some of us that are taking advantage of the occult and understanding that the occult is literally a tool for evolution. And when you work, especially with the more ancient, more powerful evolutionary spirits, they excel your evolution. So you can literally live hundreds of lifetimes in one life when you start to get into the occult on a deeper initiatory level, okay? So I just want to make that clear. So once again, I've worked with some of the darkest of these spirits, and everything worked out for me, and I've seen other people that have worked with these spirits and everything works out for them. because we're focused on evolution. Okay, I'm not approaching these dark spirits like, hey, I want you to curse this person for me because I don't like the way they talk to me, right? I'm not thinking these things, okay? I'm not concerned about these things. I may not like a person, but I'm not gonna bring that to an evolutionary spirit just because I don't like them, right? Like that's egotistical of me to approach a spirit that can literally excel my entire evolutionary process, for me to bring something so petty and something so humanly egotistical to a powerful spirit like that, that's disrespectful. And I have that in myself too. There's a spirit in me that's extremely primordial, extremely ancient and powerful, and that's disrespectful to myself. So not only am I disrespecting another spirit, but I'm disrespecting myself. And when you disrespect yourself and another powerful spirit on that level, there's nothing good that can come from that. You know, it's embarrassing. It's like going up to like Tony Robbins and being like, you know, it's literally like going up to Tony Robbins and being like, hey, can you go tell that person I think they smell? That's literally what it's like going up to Tony Robbins and then telling him, hey, can you go tell that person over there, I don't like them. Can you just tell them that they smell bad so that I can feel better about myself? That's like this. It's like the same concept, okay? So let me take it full circle now. Let's bring it back into what the topic of the video is. This is, and what I just shared is very important to understand, so please try to understand what I'm saying. So when you start working with spirits and you start going through your own little evolutionary growth process, and then as that builds a momentum, as that gets stronger, you're gonna find yourself going into certain types of initiations. And once again, as I said, the initiations are directly connected to the Sephiroth, the Qliphoth, the back of the Sephiroth, which is where the tunnels of Set are, and then there's a back of the Qliphoth, which I'm not gonna really go into too far yet because that's what I'm exploring right now. So with that being said, you may have the question like, okay, if I'm on this journey myself, how is that going to affect my family? How is that going to affect the people I love? Is that going to hurt them? You know, is this going to harm them? Is something bad going to happen? And remember, I had this question too, like 3 years ago when I first started. And the reason why I had the question is because I didn't understand how these spirits work. Remember, I said like from the very beginning, like those nice shiny things drew me in too. There was an aspect of that drew me in. I was very strong-willed. I was very powerful in what I knew I wanted and how I was going to get it, and nothing can stop me. I have that kind of mentality, and I am that kind of person. I've always been that kind of person, and that's why everything worked out for me. But you know, those still at the same time, as I said, those nice things drew me in. I want the nice car. I want to be able to manipulate people to my will, right? Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. Like that's what I wanted when I first got into this, and I was a lot less balanced, and because of that, I had this idea that if I start working with the demonic specifically, is that going to affect my family? Like I don't know. So it was a big mental battle that I had to go through because I didn't have there was no other videos that were really sharing this information. When I was doing it, I didn't see any, at least. There probably is some online somewhere, but I didn't find any, which shows me that it was like my own little self-initiation. Like I had to figure this out within my own self. Like, am I gonna walk down this path? Even like if I do this and then my family ends up getting hurt by this, that is it. Like I will be so angry at whatever it was. Like that was my mentality, and I was willing to go down that road and explore the unknown. And if something was to happen to my loved ones, then I would be ruthless in the spirit world. And I mean like to the spirit, I would have been ruthless to them. That's just my mentality. So that shows me that I have a powerful spirit in myself, in my own right. And you do too. Everyone that's watching this, you have your own spirit. Don't ever forget that. That's like one of the most important things, okay? But I went down the path, and no, my family didn't get harmed, okay? What happened is, and I say my family, like loved ones, friends, people around you. This is the thing. This is what I want you to understand. This is important to understand. When you have people that you love and you're close to, there's an energetic connection to you and those people, okay? There literally is, like, you could almost think of it like some sort of a soul tie, meaning all of your purposes, all of the reasons for all of you being here on earth are actually slightly intertwined with each other. So that means that your closest friends that you have, the people that you feel are like family to you, those types of people, when they go through some form of evolutionary change, however that manifests, whatever it is for them, it is actually going to be a reflection of yourself and vice versa. So whenever you go through some sort of like evolutionary change, whatever it is, however that manifests, it's going to also play out in your friends around you. And that's what a soul tie is, okay? It's like you came here for a purpose. The purpose for everyone is to evolve, but your specific path of evolution is unique to you, which is your own personal purpose. So as I said, when you have people around you that you build such close bonds with, it's almost like you knew you were going to meet with this person before you even came to Earth. It was like you made a deal and they said, hey, we're going to come together at some point here on Earth. We'll do it at this time. And you meet these people and there literally is a soul tie. So when you start getting into occult practices for your evolution, remember what I said earlier. It extends, or excuse me, not extends, it speeds up your evolutionary growth exponentially. I mean, when I say this, I want you to understand, like, exponentially, it speeds it up. As I said, you can live hundreds of lifetimes in one life when you start to dive into the occult, because you're pulling on all these different archetypal evolutionary powers. You're opening up all these different power zones within your body. You're opening up astral channels for these planetary energies to funnel in and literally speed up your evolutionary process. And obviously not everyone's into the occult, and it will never be that way. There will always be the masses. There will always be a few people that are getting into the occult. There will always be a few people that are high-level initiates, because we counterbalance the mass collective. So the more the mass collective is going downhill and not evolving, the more the high-level initiate occultists are going to evolve, and their awareness is going to shoot through the roof. And then as the mass collective starts to raise, then the high-level initiate occultists get to kind of sit back a little bit and get to like enjoy their fruits of their labors and things of that nature. So it's a win-win. Literally, it's a win-win if you're a high-level initiate, or if you're planning on initiating yourself into occult knowledge and study and things in that nature, because that takes you on a journey of its own. But as I was saying, so now that we know that it speeds up evolution, that means it's going to speed up evolution for everybody around you. Now, here's the truth. Not everyone around you all the time. I can't speak for you 100% because I don't know who you're surrounding yourself with. I'll speak for myself and I'll let you know how my journey manifested and how I've seen it. For me, it sped up the evolution of everybody around me, okay? And that means my mom, my stepdad, my dad, my stepmom, my little brother, my little sister, my cousins, like my aunt, like everybody. It literally sped up all of our evolution. There was times where there was people in my family where there were certain aspects of their life that they needed to change, and those certain aspects were major. Like, for example, I'll give you an example of how it happened. My stepdad had an eating problem. He ate a little bit too much and unhealthy. And I remember I did some of my own ritual work, some of my own spiritual practices, like just my own thing. Like, just my own thing, right? For evolution, protection, strength, wisdom, knowledge, power, understanding, all these things for myself. And it ended up affecting him, like literally the day after I performed this massive ritual. And what happened is his heart rate went through the roof and he had to go to the hospital. And I knew it was from my ritual, but what it did is it caused him to recognize, I can't be living like this anymore. So he now is a lot more conscious of what happened to him, and he's making sure that he's getting healthier foods in his nutrition or in his life. So it literally changed his life for the better. But for my mom, my mom's just been evolving. You know, my mom's been flowing with the evolution. She's got the strongest connection to me on a soul level. And my dad, the same thing. He's just been evolving. My dad's a powerful guy too. Like he's like both my parents. They're really powerful, like very powerful people. And they just been evolving exponentially. So as I said, like everyone around me has been evolving, but remember, evolution isn't fun, okay? I don't want to say that actually. Evolution isn't always fun. It doesn't always feel comfortable. It's not always harmonious. It's not always like, yes, we're evolving, right? Like a lot of times you're doing like heavy shadow work. A lot of the times you're doing some heavy like astral work, right? Like in the beginning phases of all my initiations, I mean, the astral work that I was doing was it was so major that I was like not in my body, okay? It was like I was existing on the astral plane and my body was just like going through the autopilot motions of going where I needed to go, and all the stuff I was doing was just in my mind, and what it was doing was unlocking and targeting all these barriers that I had in my mind and like pretty much just dissolving them so that I could be more open as a person and I could accept more things, so that I could be more receptive to different types of energies that are trying to help me, okay? And that's what happened. But here's the fact, like when you're getting into this work, once again, it's gonna speed up your evolution. So if you have people around you that aren't ready to evolve or aren't going to evolve, then you have to ask yourself the question, are you willing to allow your path of evolution to potentially harm somebody else, okay? And when I say harm somebody else, I mean like if you're connected to people and they're not trying to evolve, they're not ready to evolve, and you start this process and you start evolving, do you think it could harm them on a level that could be dangerous to their health? And I'm sitting here as somebody, as I said, and I am still this person, I'm gonna take the path of evolution every fucking time. Okay, I'm sorry, but even if it harms the people I love on a level where it's dangerous to their health, if I came here to evolve and I need to walk the path that's right for me, I will take that path. And the reason why I'm being so open about this is because if you don't take that path, if you allow yourself to not evolve because of the people that you're around or surrounded with or connected to, that is going to be worse. On one end, you're not going to evolve, you're going to start to decay. And remember, you're connected to them as well. So that means they're going to start to decay. And if they're, if they're more comfortable with not evolving and staying where they're at, and your spirit is like, hey, I need to walk this path, and you end up not walking the path because you're thinking about them, I promise you they will end up feeding on you. And when I say feeding on you, I mean energetically. This is the thing. This is the thing you want to know. For everyone that you love around you, if they truly love you, they would want you to evolve. They would want you to walk down the path that is in your best interest, no matter if it harmed them. Okay, and look, I'm saying this at it's one of its lowest polarities. The truth is like most of you that choose to walk down this path and walk into your own evolutionary journey, it's going to be extremely beneficial for everybody around you, because remember, you're evolving exponentially, which means they're going to have the opportunity to do the exact same thing because of those soul ties. So that's a beneficial thing. So for whoever's not willing to do that, that person or those people, they need to ask themselves the question, what do I need to change in my life? There's something that they need to change, okay? And if it came to the point where there was extreme health issues and someone ended up passing, then there's reincarnation that happens, and then they come back and they get another opportunity to pick up on the things that they didn't learn from a younger age. So it's a part of evolution. Like, we have to take away the morals, we have to take away the emotions, we have to understand what evolution is about. It's about raising consciousness, it's about raising self-awareness, and it's about literally increasing power so that when you go to pass eventually, you can transfer your consciousness into your own quote-unquote higher self or your spirit, so that then you can take control of what happens in the astral plane, and you no longer have to reincarnate back down here to learn the earth lessons, because there's all kinds of different other planets that have different types of evolutionary energies that we're connected to, okay? So once again, I'm gonna wrap it up here. So as I said, it's like, you're gonna evolve exponentially. The people that you're connected with, the people that you love, they're gonna have the opportunity to evolve exponentially as well. Not as much as you, but they're gonna have the opportunity to evolve a lot. And that can affect people, like evolutionary energies can affect people sometimes in a way that is harmful to their health, but that can also teach them that they need to be healthier. If their intent is right, then they will learn from what's going on in their life and say, you know what, I need to start working on myself. I need to start moving in a better direction. And that's what should happen. But there are gonna be some people that don't. There are gonna be some people that just refuse, and it can negatively impact them. And then that's when you have to ask yourself the question, you know, are you going to be okay with that? Okay? And the fact of the matter is, you know, I can't answer the question for you, but as I said, I know my path. There is no chance I'm going to stop my evolution for anybody around me. And look where I'm at now. I mean, I'm in a beautiful location. All of my family is healthy. Literally my family just moved to a brand new place that they love. Everything's connected to the occult. So like, there's so much symbolism that's going on around me and my loved ones right now, which is great. We're all protected. We haven't had any weird altercations with like near-death experiences, other than, you know, what I mentioned when I did that ritual, which was not even close to a near-death experience. He was just frightened because his heart rate went through the roof. I mean, everything's been protected. Everything's been good, okay? Everything's been thriving, actually. We've been getting the positive end of every stick, if you will, okay? And this is just because I choose to walk down my evolutionary path, and those that I surround myself have that same intent. They want to evolve as well. So they take the opportunity, they learn from their mistakes, just like I do for myself. So that's where I'm gonna leave it at. I think I covered it in this video. Definitely hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell. I post videos as often as I can, and hit the subscribe button because I love to see my subscribers go all the way through the roof. And definitely make sure you go and you check out my Patreon. The Patreon is going to be that first link in the description. So you'll go to the little drop down right in that description. It says my Patreon right next to it. Now on my Patreon, I have exclusive content. Some of that content is going to be geared towards actual spiritual occult practices that I perform on camera, and I teach you how to perform them yourself so that you get 100% success rates. For example, one of those videos is how to do an invocation, which literally channels a spiritual force, depending on what force you want to work with. I teach you how to, you know, focus on certain types of spirits using a sigil, so I can tell you what spirit to work with based on what sigil you're using. And I teach you how to pull that spirit into your body so that you can integrate its energy, so that you can integrate its power within yourself, which brings more psychic awareness, which brings more psychic protection, and which also brings more psychic power. Okay, so that's what that is. Then the other bit of the videos are going to be geared towards educational entertainment, which is a video that's very similar to this. The video is entertaining, but you're also getting a lot of value from it. And I also talk a lot about Kabbalah on a more advanced level. So if you're into Kabbalah, definitely join the Patreon. I literally have covered the whole Sephiroth, and I'm in the midst of covering the Qliphoth right now. I'm on the 6th sphere, so I would highly recommend that if you're into Kabbalah. In order to gain access, you have to at least be a Tier 2 member to gain access to this exclusive content. Tier 2 costs $9.95 a month. That's a reoccurring payment, but if you do the math, it literally comes out to less than $1 a day, so there's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to afford that. as you go up in tiers, the benefits increase as well. So with that being said, I'd love to give a special shout out to the top tier members of the Patreon. Their names are gonna be mentioned right below that Patreon link. So a huge shout out to you, ladies and gentlemen. And other than that, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.